Mr. Bell, nice seeing you again, man. I observed it, we recorded it. We're gonna go over your post conference now. Is that okay with you?
Yes, it's fine.
Like to thank you again for letting me do this with you. Definitely greatly appreciate it. So I have a few questions again. I won't do too much talking. I'll let you talk, and then I'll kind of give you my opinions on a couple of things and how we can work to do better. Okay. All right. So, Mr. Bell, how did you feel about that lesson?
Well, in the beginning, I felt that it would be good to, do so I could see each student, individually. But after some time, I thought to myself, I'm working with just one student at a time, and I did the assessment on one student at a time, and I had all my other students having a seat. I think I could have paired them up and went to each group and did my assessment that way instead of just having one student at a time being active.
Okay. What do you think went well, and what do you think didn't go well in that lesson?
Well, I think the aspect of doing the assessment with one student at a time, I did get some, I did get to see each student's, level, fitness level or where they're at in throwing and catching. So I think the aspect went well. One aspect I seen, what I noticed throughout the lesson was trying to conduct my pre-assessment as well as trying to manage the class. So I think with all the students being busy and on task, that would have cut down on some of that classroom management issues that we had during the lesson. Yeah, all in all, I think that would be that the classroom management bit was that.
Okay. How would, if you can go back, or if you want to do the lesson again, apparently, how would you, in your opinion, improve the lesson?
Well, doing my pre-assessment, I would break them up in groups. Everybody would be throwing a football, and then I would move around the gym and have my rubric and what I'm looking for each student, and I would put what level or what I think they need to work on. That way, during my follow-up lessons, when I'm planning my other lessons, I know how to differentiate my lessons to include everybody, to fit everybody's physical abilities and physical attributes.
Okay, I can definitely agree with a lot of the points that you said. I think that you had the students definitely respected you and they did everything that you asked them to do. I do agree with you in the fact that from the data that I found that the students were waiting a lot. Like you said, you had one student going at a time, and you had maybe 30 students, I believe, somewhere in that area, from what I counted. So you were teaching the whole time, or making sure, observing what they were doing, but it was only one person at a time. So I do think that, like you said, your opinion was perfect when you said that you can just do groups and go around with a rubric and just make sure that with your rubric you have everything out the way you want it to be, and figure out exactly what skills and what motor skills you want to do. I didn't see in your lesson about your introduction. I'm not sure that you do that or not. Do you remember if you did the introduction or not?
That's another thing. I thought, since I had so many students and since I was conducting my assessment this way, I thought I would, skip on the introduction and just go on to the lesson, so we wouldn't have to carry it in to 2 days.
Okay.
So I just tried to fit all my students into that one day, so we can go ahead into, introducing football in itself, as far as the history and going into the motor skills of throwing and catching.
Okay. Yeah. And then in the pre-conference, you talked about maybe helping you find, it might have been, with the pre-conference, you talked about technology. I think that could have been a perfect time for you to possibly have technology showing the kids how to pass and catch. Maybe it could be you. Maybe it could be a professional football player. Just that start with a bang to bring those students in, so they're like, okay, this is what I like. This I like that team. I like that player. So I think that could also help if you had like a really good introduction, just to bring them in and let them know that this is what we're going to do. And again, I think if you just go ahead and just like put them in groups and already have the groups planned out, and just make sure they're active and engaged most of the time instead of waiting, I think it'd be a really great lesson. So I think if you add those things to that lesson for the next time, I think you're going a lot quicker, a lot faster. You have students that are engaged a lot more, and I think from what you said you wanted me to look at, I think that will help you out a lot.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Okay. Any other thing that you think we can work on for the next lesson? So when we do the next one, we know exactly what we're looking for and what we want to do with that lesson.
Yeah, well, you just said it. As far as introduction goes, what different techniques or what different strategies I could use to introduce a lesson? I have used a couple. Your KWLs. What do you know? What do you want to know? What do you learn? And some other things. Just curious of some different strategies of how I could hook my students going in to the unit, so they can be excited, so they can be ready to be engaged in the unit. So some introduction strategies would be good. Also, how to close out. I noticed that within my teaching, within myself. Sometimes I'll try to teach so long I don't have time to close the lesson out. But I think it's important to have closure at the end of every lesson. So if you have some tips or some strategies on that, I would definitely appreciate it.
Okay, and I'll email you some things about how we possibly can close that lesson, whether it be just going together, going over the strategies that we went from follow through to bring the ball back and just seeing what you're looking at and stuff. So we can email about that, and I think hopefully this next lesson will go perfect as you want it to be.
Right.
So thanks again for letting me come talk to you, and
No problem,
I'll see you after the next lesson. Well, actually before the next lesson. Okay? It's fine?
Yeah.
All right, thanks, man.
Oh, no problem.